I found a device that I think is an essential part of every pilot's flight bag, and that is the Zoleo Personal Locator and Satellite Messenger. Besides possibly saving your life one day with the SOS feature, this little device is chock full of awesome features, super useful for pilots or pretty much anyone who spends any time outside of cell range. So that means you hunters or kayakers, backpackers or overlanders, anybody who is at all off the grid for any amount of time, this thing is super useful. Today we're going to test out the Zoleo. I'm going to show you all these awesome features on a little flight adventure, so let's go flying.
Clear prop.
All right, I got my mountain bike loaded up, and today we're going to go on a little flight over to Catalina and do some mountain biking. So full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Zoleo, but they don't have any input into the content of the video. They don't get to see the video before I publish it. And as a matter of fact, I found this device through a pilot friend of mine, and I approached Zoleo and asked them if I could review it so that I could share it with you guys because I'm really excited about it. So as usual, on this channel, you'll get my 100% honest opinion of all the products that I review. Let's take off.
Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey, runway 12, clear for takeoff.
All right, let's get into what this device is. Like I said before, it's a personal locator and satellite messenger. It works through the Iridium satellite network to send messages and locate your position. The Iridium satellite network is a really comprehensive network of satellites, and it will ensure reliable coverage on any landmass, in the middle of the ocean, any airway. They claim 100% global coverage around the entire planet. So anywhere you are outside with a clear view of the sky, you will get coverage with Iridium. You can send and receive messages on this device by connecting it via Bluetooth to your phone, but you don't need to be connected to your phone to take advantage of a lot of the features of this device. I'll get into the messaging a little later, but I want to talk about some other very important safety features of this first. One of the things I like to do when we're flying is look out the window and spot all the places I might be able to land in case of an emergency, and that's always on my mind. But what if you do get the airplane down? What are the next steps? Well, having a personal locator, to me, is an essential safety tool for a pilot. And the Zoleo has some emergency functions that are really useful. So we put the airplane down, we're in a remote area. A lot of times we're not going to have cell phone reception. The Zoleo has this little flap here that you flip up, and it has an SOS button that you can push and hold, and it will contact the GEOS Emergency Response Service, and they will send help. It knows your position via GPS, will send those coordinates to the emergency responders, and they'll come looking for you. One benefit that this is also a satellite communicator is that you can receive a confirmation message, and you can pair this via Bluetooth to your phone, so you will get progressive updates about the SOS call, and you will be able to have two-way communication with the emergency responders. So that's a super useful feature that you can let the emergency responders know what the problem is or any more details about where you are. You don't need to pair your phone to get this SOS button to work. You just have an off-field landing, push and hold it, and help is going to come. They say the unit is waterproof rated for 1.5 meters for 30 minutes, so keep that in mind. The SOS feature and emergency response to me is already worth the price of admission for this thing. Just that peace of mind is priceless. But there are so many more features, and let's jump into them right now. The first really cool one is satellite messaging. So say we're up here, we're at 10,500 feet, and we never get cell phone reception reliably up here. It's really hard to send out a text message, but now you can text everybody all day long with this Zoleo up here at 10,000 feet. The device is really clever in the way that it handles messaging. First, you can pair the device with your phone via Bluetooth, and they have an app. They give you a custom SMS number and a custom email address that works through the device. I'll show you guys how the messaging works. Up here at 10,500 feet, I've got the device on. I'm just going to put it up here on the glare shield so that it has a good view of the sky. And I've got my Zoleo app open, and we're going to message Poppins and see how she's doing. All right, send a message to pop-ins to her mobile number. Hey, what's up? I'm up here at 1,500 feet, heading to Catalina. I've sent that message, and you can see that I have no cell coverage up here, and it's sending the message via the satellite. So hopefully she'll respond. Let's ask her, how you doing? Because it uses your phone and an app, it's a really familiar texting experience and really easy to send messages quickly. All right, she got the message and says, yo. All right, gonna be landing at Catalina in a bit. We'll check in when I get there. Now, the device is super smart. It will always try to send a message through the app the cheapest way possible. That means that when you're using the Zoleo app sending messages, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, it'll send the message from your SMS number through Wi-Fi, or from your custom email address through Wi-Fi. If you're connected to cell data, it will send the message through the cell data. But only if you're not connected to Wi-Fi or cell will it use the satellite feature of this and send your message through the satellite service. What that accomplishes is two things. It really saves on the number of messages that you use every month. It provides a completely seamless messaging experience. And it also means that this thing doesn't even need to be on when you're in Wi-Fi or when you're in cell. So if people have your Zoleo SMS number and they're trying to message you at any time, and you're in cell and you're in Wi-Fi, which is a lot of the time, you'll still get those messages. Then when you hop in the airplane or you go in the backcountry, you turn this thing on, it'll still try to send messages through cellular or Wi-Fi, but if it can't, it'll receive them and send them through the Zoleo satellite communicator. So as you might have guessed, there's a monthly plan that's required for the satellite messaging, and plans range from $20 all the way up to $50. I think the $50 a month one is unlimited. That's how the basic messaging works. It's super useful for trying to coordinate when you're in the air, people are meeting you on the ground or whatever. I'm sure you can imagine tons of scenarios where you've got to communicate with somebody on the ground while you're in the air. It's super useful for that. All right, there's a ton more features I want to show you guys when we land at Catalina.
631 Bravo Whiskey via park descent, approved at your discretion.
Catalina traffic, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey is turn final right traffic, runway 22 Catalina. Catalina traffic, Cherokee 631 Bravo Whiskey, short final runway 22 Catalina. All right, I've landed at Catalina and I want to check in with Poppins and let her know that I'm okay. The Zoleo has an awesome feature for that. It's this check-in button right here. I just push the check-in button and it'll send a check-in message with our GPS coordinates and a message that says I'm okay to 2 different pre-selected contacts. Now Poppins is one of my contacts that I selected, so she'll get the message. I really love this feature. It's such an easy way to check in with somebody, let them know you're okay, and you don't need to be connected to your phone to do this. With the Zoleo, it'll just do it over the satellite network if you're not connected to your phone. But if you are connected to your phone and it has a cell signal, it'll use a cell signal and won't count against your messages. So that's really handy too. All right, there's a couple really more awesome features I want to show you. So let's go mountain biking. Let's go. All right, I biked down to the other side of Catalina Island. This is a little harbor, 6 miles downhill. It's gonna be 6 miles back uphill, but there's no cell phone coverage down here. This is a great example, and I was thinking about this on the way down. It's just really nice to have the peace of mind that I can get a message out if I have a flat tire or something and I need help. Not necessarily emergency service for the SOS button, but just to get a message out. It's just really nice to know that I can do that. A couple other quick things about the messaging. When you send a message, you can tap on the little icon to share your location with whomever you're sending a message to. That's really useful. And the other thing that's really cool is that there is a feature built in called Location Share Plus. And when you select this and you toggle this on, it will share your location at a chosen interval throughout the day so people can see your progress.
Location Share Plus is an additional service. It's a few dollars a month more, but if you're somebody who wants other people to be able to track you throughout the day, like on a long hike or mountain bike ride, that can be really useful too. I think I'll turn it on my way back up just so that Poppins can track my ride uphill. You might have noticed that I clipped the Zoleo onto my backpack. They do sell a kit that comes with 3 different accessories. One is this belt clip. There's also another thing that slides in here that's like a loop for your belt to go through. There's also a 1/4-20 receiver that you can screw something in, like a lot of the suction cup mounts have that screw. So you can mount this on a suction cup, put it on the window of your car or the airplane so it has a clear view of the sky. One more feature I almost forgot to mention is that the app does have a very basic weather. It will give you a little weather forecast wherever you are through dark sky, and receiving the weather forecast does count as one of your messages, but this can be useful if you're on a backcountry strip or if you're camping in the wilderness and you just want to know what the weather is going to be for the next couple days. It can be useful. All right, it's time to ride all the way back up. I'll see you back at the plane. It's a lot of uphill. Must be getting close. I hear planes. All right, made it back up to the airport. That was a great ride. I wanted to tell you real quick about the battery life. You might be wondering about that. So they claim that the unit will stay on for 200 hours and will work for 200 hours in the regular, on mode where it checks messages every 12 minutes. So that's about 8 days that you could have the unit on, just doing whatever you're doing, backpacking or camping or whatever. So battery life is pretty good. Obviously if you use it a lot more, it'll last less time than that. But for my purposes, probably for the purposes of a pilot where you're using it occasionally, turning it on for a flight here and there, 200 hours of like that standby time sure is a really long time. Right now, Zoleo is offering free activation if you use the link below to get the Zoleo, sign up for a plan. As you can tell, I'm a really big fan of this product. And I think it's super useful for pilots and anybody else who gets off the grid. I highly recommend it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thanks for coming along on the journey with me.